Hello and welcome to DIY K-tronics. Today's video is going to be about how to solder, and we'll be revealing the secrets behind perfect soldering. So if you're the one looking for the secrets, or have you tried ever about soldering and you can never done even a single joint properly for soldering, so kudos to you, and stay tuned for learning about how to do soldering. So this video is basically I'll be telling you about first of all the basic introduction regarding soldering, and the second part would be the actual experimentation with some of the components of the soldering, and thirdly I'll be telling you about the maintenance and how to keep your solder iron tip clean. So stay tuned and let's get started. Okay. The sole purpose of this video is about the soldering for beginners especially, and that is why the solder I am using is the one you can buy easily from any local market. So take a look at the tip of the solder for now, because I have not cleaned the tip, and more on this later. It's not turned on yet, it's turned off, and this is the major component for soldering. First of all, soldering iron, and then comes the soldering flux. The one I'm using is the wax-like structure. It's a soft paste. And thirdly, we of course need some soldering wire. And there's this steel mesh. It is used for cleaning the tip of the soldering iron. And then there are some of the components. You can see there are a couple of components and a bunch of other electronics related stuff which can use for electronics projects. There are some capacitors, buttons, switches, resistors, LEDs, etc, etc, etc. So I'll be using some of these components for soldering. Okay, another major component is the board. We will be trying to solder things over this board. And the last but not least, this is the suction. You can use this to desolder the okay. So let's get started. I'll turn this on very quickly. Okay, it is now started. So the use of DMM I'll be telling you later, so I'll keep this aside for now. Okay, I've made this stand for soldering. This is the third hand. I have this alligator clip. So this is a dead battery for the record. So don't worry about any electricity shock or something or spark or things like that. This is a dead battery and it has a very handsome amount of weight. So it's good for a third hand. So I use this for my projects. So as the soldering iron it's heating, let me tell you about this wire board. You can see the copper shining. If you are to start your very first project, this is the very first thing you will need to put your hands on. This one side is total clean, there is nothing, no copper or something like that. It is total clean side, and this side has copper pasted over every block. There are blocks of coppers and no single block is connected to other block. So in order to work over such boards, you need to do something like that. This is a sandpaper you you have to quickly rub the sandpaper from the copper because of the oxidized substance that is over every component, and it prevents you to solder anything. So just take a piece of sandpaper and okay, you see the difference real quick, the sanded portion and the other portion. So this is just pure shiny and copper, which is perfect for our soldering surface. Okay, I missed the part of the soldering, very basic part, which are the wires. I have some wires here with me, so I'll also try to solder these wires too. This side of the wire I have left specifically for you to show. Whenever you're working with wire, you need to avoid this thing. If the wire is already peeled off, just cut off the portion and start with the fresh one. As of the other portions, they're all cut off, and we'll peel off the fresh, which is perfect for soldering. Okay, I'll start with the wires first. Take a light twist. It's good to go. And then there is the one which is already peeled off. So I'll try to solder this one. We'll see. Okay, our soldering iron is nice and heated. Now I am about to clean it off using this mesh. Just dip a little bit, put some solder on. Secret behind the soldering is this flux right over there. So if you're ever trying to solder any component or anything, whether it's a wire or board or some other electric components, which I showed you earlier, and we'll be working over them soon. So you just gotta do one very simple step. Just take out the soldering flux and real quick. You can apply the flux over the ends of the wires, and the best way to apply flux over wire is to keep your soldering iron so something like that. So when it's liquid, it is easily flowing over every single wire there exists. Okay, this is the key, guys. This is the smaller secret of the soldering, and the other one I will be telling you later soon. So okay, staying soldering wire. Solder is not properly flowed over every wire because the soldering iron is not heated properly yet. Give it another minute or so, so it will be working perfectly.